Good morning, students. In yesterday class, we already discussed nucleophilic addition reaction of carbonyl compound with hydrogen cyanide, reaction with Grignard reagent, sodium bisulfite and alcohols. Today we will discuss in continuation of nucleophilic addition reaction with ammonia and its derivative with carbonyl compound. So this reaction is most important reaction. So we can explain in this way. We can write a carbonyl compound like this. It's react with ammonia. Ammonia we can explain like in this way. Z. This Z may be a hydrogen or a alkyl group. It can be a NH2 or it can other group also, phenyl group also, phenyl, or it's substituted phenyl also, it can be a OH also. So they have different name. So we understand at first how can it react. It's react because we know nitrogen has a lone pair. It's attack on this carbon, either top or bottom. So this sp2 hybridize change into sp3 situation in this way. Nitrogen NH and Z. One hydrogen it's remove and it's attached with oxygen because oxygen is negative charge. This one is a temporary product, unstable. After that, this reaction further slightly when heating, then water molecule release out. Water molecule is released out and we get the product like this type. That type product and water is released out. This reaction favors towards product side easily due to reason water is easily removed out in this reaction. So the different product, different name, we will explain one by one. When ammonia react, then that product name is imine, I-M-I-N-E. Or if alkyl amine react, then substituted amine. So now we will explain this first nucleophilic addition reaction, after that elimination of water molecule. When slightly heating, then it's easily convert towards product side. So this is also a nucleophilic addition, further elimination of water molecule in this reaction. So now we will explain one by one. When react with ammonia, so we can write ammonia in this way. It's attack on carbonyl and we can write whole reaction in one step also by removal of water molecule. Ultimately the product is this formation NH. So this compound known as IMINE, imine. Ultimately water molecule release out. When this carbonyl compound react with primary amine means R, then this same reaction occurs. Ultimately water molecule release out and the product is substituted amine. This known as substituted because this one is IMINE, double bond with nitrogen, and if the nitrogen further, that known as substituted imine. this compound name is known as Sif base, and that show a slightly different color in aldehydes and ketones. So this is substituted imine. If this compound ammonia attached OH ion, so that compound name is hydroxylamine. Hydroxylamine. So when hydroxylamine react with carbonyl compound, then the product name is oxime. Product name is oxime. That product we can write like this. This product name is oxime. OXIME. If the carbonyl is a acetone, then their product name is acetone oxime. So this reagent is very important. Hydroxylamine, when react, the product is known as oxime. And this reaction shown both aldehyde and ketones. When carbonyl compound react with another reagent, that is NH2 attached another NH2. This compound name is hydrazine. So that one is special name. So this attack on this. Ultimately, we have to remove water, H2O, in this reaction. So the product convert into like this. The product name is hydrazone. Hydrazone means ene convert into on. When the reactant water molecule in all the reaction remove out. Hydrazone. If this hydrazine further attached with benzene ring, so we can write in this way. In benzene ring, so its name is phenylhydrazine, because the main compound is hydrazine and this aromatic system as a substituent. So its name is phenylhydrazine. Phenylhydrazine. When this phenylhydrazine react with carbonyl in similar way, we get the product phenylhydrazone. We can write like this. That is benzene. You can write as a circle or alternate double bond. So the product name is phenylhydrazone. Another reagent, if this phenyl group further substituted by nitro group, that is a special name, that known as 2,4-DNP reagent. Means if this phenylhydrazine further substituted by nitro group at position 2, second and fourth, two nitro group attached. So its IUPAC name, how can we write? Main compound is hydrazine, NH2, and there is a phenyl group. So further we start numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Means at second and fourth position, means at ortho and para position, 2 nitro group attached. So its name is 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. We can write 2,4-dinitrophenyl. 2,4-dinitrophenyl, and this compound is hydrazine. The name is 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. This reagent known as 2,4-DNP in short form. The reagent known as 2,4-DNP means 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. H is not written, only written like 2,4-DNP in capital form. So how can it react? It reacts in similar way. This lone pair attack on this carbonyl group. Ultimately, water is released out, and the product name is 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone. How can we write in similar way? We write the product and H nitrogen because water is released out. Nitro group on second and fourth position. This product name is, we write in earlier product like on, so its product name also 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone. And it is a characteristics color like yellow, orange or red color precipitate. The product is either yellow color, yellow, orange, or red color. Either yellow, orange, red color precipitate is formed. So this reaction is characteristics for carbonyl compound. By this reaction we can distinguish the given compound is carbonyl because its form yellow, red, orange color precipitate by reacting with 2,4-DNP reagent. It means characteristics 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine, and the product name is 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazone. Another important addition reaction of ammonia derivative is semi-carbazide. If ammonia is attached with urea, urea means NHCONH2. This compound special name is semi-carbazide. Semi-carbazide. How can we remember, student, this compound? First you write ammonia and its derivative we have to remove, then we add urea. Urea means we know NH2CONH2. When it's combined with ammonia, then the compound formation, because one hydrogen removed, so that is semi-carbazide. In this semi-carbazide, how can we write the product? So there are two NH2 compound in this semi-carbazide, two NH2. One is left side, other this right side, this also. And so this side NH2 can attack on this carbonyl group. Those towards NH2 side with NH. Then the product ultimately H2O is removed out. And its product name is semicarbazone. Semicarbazone. In this reagent, a reasoning question asked by CBSE, although in semicarbazide 2 NH2 group, why only 1 mole is participate? Why only 1 mole participate? Why this side NH2 is not participate in this compound? Why this NH2 not participate in the reaction? That question answer is this: due to this NH2 with nearby conjugation of carbonyl group, so this lone pair move towards this side and it show a resonance. This semicarbazide show resonance. Due to this, nitrogen has positively charged because its lone pair move towards carbon side and pi electron move towards oxygen side. Again, this process is continuous. So this lone pair is not available, but this side, left hand side, there are 2 nitrogen and both has one lone pair. So this NH2 easily attack because this lone pair also react with nearby the conjugation of carbonyl group. So it also show resonance. So although there is only 2 NH2, but only one participate. Which one? That situated that side. So when you write the product, then semicarbazide should be react that side. There is NH2 attached on hydrogen side. So you have to remember this process. So in this way, all the ammonia derivative are finished. First one, when ammonia react, then imine formation. When primary amine, then substituted imine. When hydroxylamine, the product name is oxime, OXIME. When hydrazine react, the product hydrazone. If benzene ring attached, that is phenylhydrazine. And most important reagent is 2,4-DNP reagent. This reagent show a characteristics reaction. 2,4-DNP means at first we write hydrazine, then it's react with attached with phenyl, and this phenyl further substituted NO2. Means numbering in this way we can write 2,4-dinitrophenyl. This group 2,4-dinitrophenyl, hydrazine react with carbonyl compound, form a orange, red color, yellow color precipitate. So it is a characteristics reaction of carbonyl compound. So we can identify the given compound is carbonyl or not by 2,4-DNP reagent. Next reaction is reduction. When reduction of aldehyde and ketone, then we get different product. And this reaction we already studied in alcohol chapter also. For reduction we need some reagent like hydrogen in presence of catalyst, palladium, platinum or nickel. This reaction known as catalytic hydrogenation. Hydrogen in presence of palladium, platinum or nickel. Or we can use a strong reducing agent like sodium borohydride. We can use lithium aluminium hydride, that are strong reducing agent. So students, you should remember when reduction comes, then this type reagent we can use in reaction. Sodium borohydride, lithium aluminum hydride, that are strong reducing agent. Strong reducing agent. And hydrogen in presence of palladium, platinum or nickel is known as catalytic hydrogenation, or we can say slightly medium reducing agent, medium. So we can take either hydrogen palladized platinum or nickel, or you can use sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride. This lithium aluminum hydride is highly expensive, so we select this reagent for a special reagent only. So when react with hydrogen, or we can use either nickel, palladium or platinum, anyhow, then aldehyde convert into primary alcohol, means from aldehyde the product is primary alcohol, 1 degree alcohol. So by this reaction we can use in conversion. If this same reaction occurs in ketone, generally we use sodium borohydride, or we can use hydrogen, palladium, platinum or nickel, catalytic hydrogenation. Then the product is secondary alcohol. So this is a simple reduction reaction, and more special reduction by this reaction, we can convert aldehyde and ketone into hydrocarbon also. If we use aldehyde and ketone, a special reagent, that reagent known as zinc amalgam, zinc in mercury, and concentrate HCl. Special name reaction. This reaction name is Clemenson. Clemenson reduction. Clemenson reduction, a name reaction. By this reaction we can convert carbonyl compound, both either aldehyde and ketone, into hydrocarbon, means CO group change into CH2 group by this reaction using zinc amalgam. Amalgam means mercury, zinc in mercury and concentrate HCl, then carbonyl compound convert into CH2 group. It means carbonyl convert into hydrocarbon. This one is a hydrocarbon. Very important reaction in conversion known as Clemenson reduction using this reagent. If the reagent is a ketone, means propanone, then the product is propane. Wolff-Kishner reduction. By this reaction also we can convert carbonyl into hydrocarbon. So in this reaction, carbonyl group react with hydrazine. React with hydrazine means NH2 compound is known as hydrazine. Hydrazine. This hydrazine react in this way, ultimately removal of water, and the product convert into hydrazone. This product name is hydrazone. After then, it's react with a KOH or NaOH in presence of ethylene glycol. In presence of ethylene glycol means this one, ethane 1,2-diol. Ethylene, common name. Ethylene is a common name. Glycol. A dihydric alcohol has higher boiling point. We can use potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide in presence of ethylene glycol and then slightly heat the reaction. Then the compound change into CH2 group and we get main hydrocarbon in this reaction. So this is known as Wolff-Kishner reduction. First we convert carbonyl into hydrazine react into hydrazone, further react with KOH and ethylene glycol, then the compound change into CH2. So this reaction also important. And another earlier we discussed Clemmensen reduction. In Clemmensen, that is carbonyl react with zinc amalgam, concentrate HCl. This reaction is Clemmensen reduction. Clemmensen reduction. In Clemmensen reduction, carbonyl change into CH2. This amalgam acts as a slightly poisonous, so we can prepare this hydrazone reaction using further change into KOH and ethylene glycol. But we can use in different conversion. So remember this reagent, zinc amalgam concentrate HCl in Clemmensen reduction and hydrazine and KOH or NaOH further in ethylene glycol. So in this way we can convert hydrocarbon. In Wolff-Kishner reduction, the product also we get a nitrogen gas also released in this reaction, because when heated with potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide in presence of ethylene glycol, then the carbonyl change into hydrocarbon and nitrogen gas release out. And in Clemmensen reduction, the water easily remove out. But we have to write main product. If you write carbonyl into hydrocarbon, that also correct. And in Wolff-Kishner reduction, nitrogen we get as a byproduct. Aldehyde and ketone show different reaction in oxidation. Means oxidation of carbonyl compound. If we take any aldehyde like this, using strong oxidizing agent, potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate or nitric acid, then aldehyde further oxidized, they change into corresponding carboxylic acid. So number of carbon atoms remaining same in this reaction. Means when alcohol is oxidized using strong oxidizing agent, then they produce carboxylic acid. But ketones normally not oxidize. If we take like this type ketones, either write R may be different or same or a long side. So normally ketone do not oxidize, but at drastic condition, at adverse condition, at high temperature they oxidize using potassium permanganate, dichromate, alkaline or acidified potassium dichromate. But this bond is dissociated either this side or this side. We get mixtures of carboxylic acid, lesser number of carbon atom. Means by this reaction, if it dissociates this side, then we get a carboxylic acid like this. Other one, if dissociate this side, then R dash means different number of carbon atom, and this can dissociate further also. So we get mixtures of carboxylic acid, lesser number of carbon atom, and ketones do not oxidize easily by using a milder reagent, weak oxidizing agent. So they can oxidize only strong oxidizing agent and at drastic condition, adverse condition, high temperature, elevated temperature. But aldehyde easily oxidize and they can oxidize using weak reagent also, chromium trioxide also. So aldehyde convert carboxylic acid using weak reagent. So this reaction is very useful to distinguish aldehyde and ketone. If we aldehyde react by a weak reagent, that is Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent is a mild oxidizing agent. Mild means medium. Mild oxidizing agent. It can oxidize only aldehyde into corresponding carboxylic acid. Tollens reagent could not oxidize ketones, so we can separate the aldehyde and ketone using Tollens reagent. So what is the Tollens reagent? Tollens reagent is ammonical silver nitrate. We can write ammonical silver nitrate is name of this reagent, and this is a coordination compound. It can represent like this: ammonical silver nitrate AgNH3, coordination number 2 plus, like this. This one is Tollens reagent because silver plus 1 charge, so it is. First we write IUPAC name of Tollens reagent. This one is Tollens reagent, ammonical silver nitrate, a coordination compound. So coordination compound nomenclature is slightly different, and you already studied in chapter number 9, coordination chemistry. So first we write the ligand's name in alphabetical order. There is only one ligand, so that is 2 means diamine, AMMINE, diamine silver first, because this is a positive ion, so its IUPAC name is diamine silver first ion, you can write, and outside we can write nitrate also. So this reagent is a mild oxidizing agent. Mild oxidizing means slightly weak oxidizing agent. Mild oxidizing agent. It oxidizes aldehyde into corresponding carboxylic acid and self is reduced. What do you mean by oxidizing agent? Those agent oxidize other, self is reduced. So this reagent reduce into silver, means plus 1 change into plus 0, means by gaining 1 electron. So this reaction we get silver mirror. By this reaction we get silver mirror. So this test known as silver mirror test. So how can we write its reaction? First we take a aldehyde. Only aldehyde react with this reagent. Ammonical silver nitrate, it written in this way. In alkaline medium, ammonical means ammonia, a alkaline medium. So this reaction occurs in alkaline medium. So it acts as an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes aldehyde into corresponding carboxylic acid, but medium is alkaline, so we get carboxylic acid salt. So we can write its product RC double bond O minus, because the medium is base, so that carboxylic acid react base, it's form a salt, carboxylate salt. And this silver plus ion change into 0, means silver mirror. And then water molecule release out. If we want to balance this reaction, we know aldehyde change into acid, so one oxygen introduce, one oxygen need 2 electron. So this 2 mole Tollens reagent we need in this reaction. To remember this balancing of a reaction easily, you can balance by a redox mechanism, because this is oxidizing agent, so this is reducing agent. This change into corresponding carboxylic acid. So easily remember, introduce one oxygen needs 2 electrons, so 2 mole. So we get 2 silver. And in this ammonia also release out in this reaction. How many mole? If you balance, then 4 mole ammonia. Then OH ion. So it's form 2 mole oxygen. Hydrogen also we get 3 OH ion and 2 H2O. So to balance overall this reaction, 1 oxygen we get from this side, hydroxyl ion. Overall this is a balanced reaction. So students, most important reaction, when react Tollens reagent, write the reaction product. But in distinction, sometimes it's if you don't write, then you also get a 1 mark. But you should remember. So this one is a silver mirror test, and after some times we will perform this activity. How can aldehyde respond this test? And ketones do not oxidize by this Tollens reagent. Another reagent, we can separate aldehyde into ketones, that known as Fallings reagent. That known as Fallings reagent. This Fallings reagents also 2 types, Fallings reagent A and Fallings reagent B. Fallings reagent A and Fallings reagent B. Fallings reagent A is aqueous copper sulfate, and Fallings solution B is sodium potassium tartrate. Sodium potassium tartrate, a salt of tartaric acid. This sodium potassium tartrate is alkaline medium, in alkaline medium. So this special name is known as Rossel salt also. Fallings solution B known as Rossel salt. We can mix both these 2 reagents, aqueous copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate, in equimolar, and then react with aldehyde. So aldehyde, when we heat the substance in basic medium, alkaline medium, then we get brown precipitate, reddish brown precipitate in this reaction. So how can we write this reaction? So aldehyde, when react with Fallings reagent A and B, we combined aqueous copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate, alkaline medium, in equimolar, then ultimately it provides cupric ion. This one is Fallings reagent and basic medium. So this acts as a oxidizing agent. This one also mild oxidizing agent. It can oxidize only aldehyde. It could not oxidize ketones. Why? Ketones are stable compound. They do not oxidize easily. So its aldehyde convert corresponding carboxylic acid salt, because the medium is alkaline. And now copper plus 2 change into cuprous oxide plus 1. Copper change into plus 2 change into plus 1. Cuprous oxide. This one is reddish brown precipitate. Reddish brown precipitate. and other product known as water in this. If you balance, then again how can you remember? Then this one is cuprous oxide, means copper 2. So you write here 2 cupric ion, and carboxylic acid, aldehyde change into carboxylic acid side. So balance this reaction. Further you can write in this 3s2 and 5 mole OH ion. In this 5 mole OH ion. So in this way, students, you can learn in Fellings reagent cupric ion change into cuprous oxide, means Fellings reagent change into cuprous oxide, reddish brown precipitate. Now we perform this both tests, first tolerance test and then reaction with Fellings reagent. Now students, we want to distinguish aldehyde and ketone using tolerance test. So students, you know glucose. Glucose is a aldehyde, polyhydroxy aldehyde. So we take small amount of glucose and first we dissolve this glucose, make a solution in this glucose solution. Took in test tube, then mix some freshly prepared tolerance reagent or freshly opened tolerance reagent. This tolerance reagent is ammonical silver nitrate solution. So I mix some amount of tolerance reagent in this. Then it is heated in this. You can observe after some time silver mirror is formed. This old test tube convert as a silver mirror. Now you can observe, see the test tube side change into shining surface, means formation of a silver mirror. You can see the shining of the test tube, silver deposit on the wall of the test tube. If we further slightly heat it, then whole wall of the test tube has a silver mirror formation. So this is known as silver mirror test. Means in earlier test tube also I conducted this test. This one is silver mirror test. If this test performed with acetone, then acetone do not respond this test. Now we perform with a ketone, that is acetone, this test. Now I take acetone in this test tube to identify the acetone performed or not with the tolerance test. So I mix some tolerance reagent in this acetone, then want to heat then we find in this reaction, you can see no silver mirror formation. because acetone do not respond this test. No silver mirror. But when react with aldehyde means glucose, it's silver mirror formation. So this one is the difference. Aldehyde perform the silver mirror test. Ketones do not respond this test. Why? Ketones are stable and the reagent is weaker. So it could not oxidize ketone into this carboxylic acid, and so no silver mirror respond. Now students, another reagent, that is Felling's reagent. Felling's reagents are two types. Felling solution A means aqueous alkaline copper sulfate. Aqueous copper sulfate known as Felling solution A, or we can say 1. So we need equal amount of both the solution. Felling's solution, or we can say Felling's reagent. This one is aqueous copper sulfate solution known as Felling's reagent 1. Other one is Felling solution B. The Felling solution B is sodium potassium tartrate. In another test tube, I take, that is Felling solution B. This aqueous alkaline sodium potassium tartrate known as Rossel salt, Felling solution B. This Felling solution A, both equimolar, we mix to each other, then we get the Felling's reagent. This one is Felling's reagent totally. When you mix equimolar both, this one is Felling's reagent. So this reagent can react with aldehyde, then it's converted into reddish brown precipitate. So in another test tube, this one is a glucose solution. We know glucose is a aldehyde, pentahydroxyaldehyde. We will discuss in detail biomolecule chapter. So this one reagent react with Felling's reagent. This is Felling's reagent. A and B mix combined. Then it is heated, convert into, after some time, reddish brown color or precipitate. So students, you can observe this blue color disappear and the product we get reddish brown color or precipitate. So now you can see the blue color disappear and the compound change into reddish brown color. This reaction, aldehyde respond this test reddish brown color. When glucose react with Felling's reagent, we know glucose is a aldehyde, so it's convert into reddish brown color. If you slightly more heating, then it's convert into precipitate. So if this same reaction we respond with ketones, then acetone do not respond this test. So now same reaction I will apply with acetone. Now we perform this test with acetone. So in acetone I mix both the solution, Felling solution A and B, then it's a dark blue color. When I mix in this acetone, you can see this is not soluble also, and because in glucose this is soluble, but in acetone it is insoluble, and its color also not disappear. This color remaining same, means no reaction. In acetone no change. Means ketone do not respond, do not react with Fehling reagent, but this one glucose react with reddish brown color or precipitate, but ketone remaining as usual blue color. In this way we can distinguish aldehyde and ketones using Fehling reagent and Tollens test. Tollens test known as silver mirror test. When aldehyde react, its form a silver mirror. We can observe the side of the test tube, shining surface of the silver. Now students summarize. In Tollens reagent, we get silver mirror test in this reaction, and the aldehyde convert into corresponding carboxylic acid. It acts as a mild oxidizing agent, and it oxidize aldehyde into carboxylatine. Self is reduced into silver mirror. And in Fehling reagent, this Fehling reagent two types: Fehling solution A, aqueous copper sulfate, and Fehling solution B is sodium potassium tartrate, that known as Rochelle salt, alkaline medium. Both we combined, then give dark blue color. So when it's react, it's changed into carboxylic acid and reddish brown cuprous oxide precipitate. So these reagents we can distinguish aldehyde and ketones. Another reagent also, that is Benedict's reagent. Benedict's reagent also similar to Fehling reagent, that also react with aldehyde and change into colored substance like reddish brown color. Then easily can identify the acid by these different reagent: Tollens reagent, Fehling reagent, Benedict's reagent. These are mild reducing agent, mild oxidizing agent. It oxidize aldehyde only, they could not oxidize ketones. So in this reaction we can distinguish aldehyde and ketone. In tomorrow class we will discuss the iodoform reaction, haloform reaction, that also a very important reaction, and others like Cannizzaro and aldol condensation reaction. So students, if you have any problem, write in comment box, like and subscribe, share the needy students. Thank you. Have a nice day.